Hey everyone, so today I want to share with you 3 tips and 3 progressions to help you with your handstand push-ups. Tip number 1 is hand position. So whenever we perform handstand push-ups, we want to avoid having our hands point directly towards the wall. Instead, we want to rotate our hands out to about a 45-degree angle. This is going to ensure that our elbows stay tucked in throughout the movement, and this enables us to use our shoulders and triceps more effectively. Finally, it allows us to adopt a tripod position on the floor, which is the most optimal way to perform a handstand push-up. Tip number 2 is shoulder position in the handstand push-up. So whenever we are inverted, we want to have shoulder depression. What we mean by this is keeping the shoulders pulled down away from the ears. So whenever we get inverted, we're going to think about a reverse shrug, pulling the shoulders down. This is the strongest and most stable position for your shoulders to be in whenever you are upside down. Tip number 3 is head position. So whenever we are performing a strict handstand push-up or any of the progressions working up to that, we want to ensure we create a tripod on the floor. So this means wherever our hands are placed, our head should travel forward and we will create a triangle on the floor. If we fail to do this and our head ends up between our hands, so we create a straight line, our elbows will flare out. We're unable to maximize our shoulders and triceps, and it's quite an unhealthy position to place your shoulders in whenever we are inverted. So here we have Owen performing handstand push-ups. You'll notice on rep 1 and 2, Owen travels towards the wall as he goes down and then pulls back on the way out. This is optimal. What we want to avoid is the head coming down between the hands, the elbows flaring out, which makes it a lot harder to perform your handstand push-ups. Progression number 1 is Pike push-ups. So in this movement, we're going to have our hands on the floor, our feet are going to be quite close to your hands, and we're going to pike our hips up, trying to get our tailbone to the ceiling. From here, Owen is going to travel forward and adopt that tripod position we talked about in our tips. From there, he's going to press back, finishing with his head between his arms. So guys, the further we travel forward, or the closer our toes are to your hands, the more challenging this movement will be. Owen, can you give us one more rep? Good, so tripod position on the floor and then we press back. What we want to avoid in this movement is traveling forward, creating the tripod, which is correct, but then pressing up. So it feels more like a push-up than it does an overhead press. So always ensure that as we travel forward, we have lots of control, and then we focus on pushing directly back towards the feet. This is the Pike push-up. Progression number 2 is box handstand push-ups. So we will begin these with our knees on the edge of the box, and we will walk our hands in as close as we can to the box. This is going to get us into an inverted position, and like our Pike push-up, we're really going to focus on pushing that tailbone to the roof. From here, Owen is going to travel forward, touch his head off the floor, and focus on pushing his chest back towards the box on the way up. Once we get strong in this movement, we're going to move on to our feet on the box. This places more load on the shoulders, so it makes it a lot more challenging. So Owen is going to try to travel in as close as he can once again. So this feels more like a handstand push-up, and he's going to travel forward, create that tripod, and press back up. One thing we want to avoid here is traveling outward on the way up. If you have tight hamstrings, you might struggle with keeping your legs straight. You can bend them like this, and you'll find that you'll get the same demand through the shoulders. So guys, this is the box handstand push-up. Progression number 3 is negative handstand push-ups. The most important thing to remember on negative handstand push-ups is you need to keep control and tension throughout the entire range. So we want to avoid crashing down onto the floor or onto our head. So for example, if we have a 4-second negative in a handstand push-up, we want to avoid going really slow at the top and then falling to the bottom. So that would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, we want to keep tension until our head makes contact with the floor. So that will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So guys, I hope you found the video informative and those tips and progressions helped. If you're interested in working towards getting your first strict handstand push-up, we now have a 4-week online training program available. I'll drop a link below for you to check out and learn more.